I've lived a blessed life in that we really, growing up, didn't have much, but we had everything. We had love, and we had parents that cared, and aunts that cared, and grew up on the south side of Youngstown, the area they called Lansingville. Grew up on Zedeker Street, right next to Pemberton Park. So I had a pool in my backyard. I had football field, baseball field, tennis. But after that, going to Michigan. Came back and married my best friend from high school sister, Chris Pepino. We got married in 1983. Chris supported me in everything that I did, and that she allowed me to follow my dream football-wise, supported me in everything I did business-wise. When we pulled out of the family business and started on my own, she was my spine in everything that went on. She was and continues to be a great friend and partner and wife, and gave me 3 beautiful children. I have my son, Eddie, who is my oldest, got married last year to Chelsea Cribble, and started Rise Pies locally. My middle child, Dee, DeLauren, went into retail and spent about 8 years with Kohl's department stores in Milwaukee and New York as a buyer, and came back and opened Ivory and Birch, so another Muransky company store out on Market Street, started from scratch. Real proud of her. She got married last year as well in March, and about 7 months ago gave my wife and I our first grandchild. So we have little Cocoa Puff. Colette Christine was born. Lastly is my daughter Donnie. She's the baby. She's going to be 30 years old this year. She graduated from Poland as well. She was on the Poland speech team, very proud member of the speech team there. Early on in college, she wanted to be a comedic writer. Donnie graduated from WashU, had jobs with Jim Gaffigan, with Michael J. Fox, with The Daily Show, with Gossip Girl, with the Goldbergs. My daughter is now a full writer for the Goldbergs. So she is on the Big Daddy Show. She started on that probably 5 or 6 weeks ago now. From my standpoint then, I was in insurance through the 80s. After I retired, I started getting into some office buildings and some real estate of my own. And in around 1992, I was at the shopping center convention in Las Vegas. Mr. DeBartolo Sr. and I were walking by a long line in the convention floor, and it was Auntie Anne's Soft Pretzels, which nobody knew at the time. Hot Sam was the big pretzel company. It was a frozen product. Mr. D said, "I can't understand why they have a line there." I waited for the pretzels, and the rest is history. I brought those in for Mr. D to taste, and he said, "Hey, why don't you see if they franchise?" Which I already talked to Ann Byler, who was Auntie Anne, and she said, "If you can get me into any of the good malls, you could be anywhere in the country." We now have been in business for 23 years on the hospital side of things, so that's going very well. This area gave me everything, as I enter my 60s here in a year or so, and enter the last kind of couple chapters here, it's important about giving back. Because if it wasn't for a couple people giving to me mentally and physically, I wouldn't be sitting here the way I am, having beautiful, loving parents, and Ted Lalakis and Don Pepino and my wife, Chris. You know, I just really feel strongly, and have pushed this on my kids as well, that you have to continue to look out for each other.